Welcome, everyone. My name is Sheena Rosa, and I'm the Manager of Pension Compliance and Communications here at GCO. Today, we're going to talk about how the pension plan works and what you need to do when it's time to retire, and I'll try to answer any questions that you may have. So this is our 2025 Pension Information Seminar. Sometimes a little bit of the information changes, mostly government amounts and programs. There are updates each year, so we update it regularly. Okay, so there are two types of pension plans. Defined contribution plan, which is sort of like a group RRSP, very similar, because money goes into an account almost like a bank account. And so it's like your registered savings plan. And it's a pot of money that sits there and is ready for you to use when the time comes for you to retire. You don't know what kind of benefits it may be able to provide you. All you know is the amount of money that's sitting in it. Instead, what we have is a contributory defined benefit plan. So the thing that is defined, that is not defined with a defined contribution plan, is that the benefit is set out in a formula in the plan. So we know what we can expect to get when the time comes to retire. We also know what our contribution rate is. So who is a member? All regular employees, ministry and lay, who work on average at least 14 or more hours per week must join the plan. Your pension benefits and contributions are calculated using the annual pensionable earnings. And for ministry personnel and lay employees, most people, 100% of salary is pensionable earnings. If you happen to be ministry personnel who live in a manse, your pensionable earnings are 140% of your salary. Members contribute 6% of their pensionable earnings, and employers contribute 9% of pensionable earnings on behalf of each of us. Each year, you earn a percentage of your pensionable earnings as a pension credit. That percentage has changed periodically over the years as follows. So from 2013 to 2019, it was 1.4%. In 2020, it was 1.85%. In 2021, it was 1.625%. In 2022 to 2025, it's now 1.85% again. And unless something changes, it's slated to return to 1.4% in 2026. The United Church uses a career average pension plan calculation. As your pensionable earnings change, so do your contributions and your employer's contributions to the pension. You may contribute to the pension plan up to age 71, as long as you are still working for the United Church. Let's use an example of Reverend J. Reverend J's pensionable earnings are $75,000 per year. For easy figuring, let's assume Jay's salary remains constant. We know in real life that wouldn't happen, but it makes the math a little bit easier to follow. So in 2020, Jay earned 1.85% of 75,000, or $1,387.50. In 2021, that was $1,237.50 because it was at a rate of 1.625%. And again, from 2022 to 2025, they earned $1,387.50 per year because the accrual rate was 1.85%. In 2026, the rate is slated to return to 1.4%, which would give them $1,050 as an annual pension credit. If Jay works for the church for 10 years from 2019 to 2028, the annual pension credits add up to $12,375. which means that's an annual pension that they would receive. So that would be divided by 12, and that amount would be paid per month. So if they retire after working for 10 years, they would receive that annual pension of $12,375, and they would receive it every year for the rest of their life. Now, does anyone have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Is it lump sum or is it paid monthly?
It's paid monthly.
It's paid monthly, so we cannot take the whole amount as in a lump sum.
Do you mean like take the money out and transfer it somewhere else?
Yes.
Well, if you were to terminate service, leave the church before age 55, you could transfer out the lump sum somewhere else. If you're 55 or older when you terminate service, then you cannot transfer it out.
Okay.
The whole point, and we're very lucky to have a defined benefit plan, is that we have a pension that we can depend on and know that that is what we are estimated to receive at age 65. So we can plan. We know that if our annual pension, if you only had 10 years of service at that rate of pensionable earnings, you'd get a little over $12,000 as illustrated. So that would be about $1,000 per month. If you had 35 years of service or 30 years of service, you would have a full pension, a lot more, and divided by 12, that would be your monthly pension, and you would be able to budget using that, knowing that you have that to depend on.
So can I follow up a question?
Sure.
I intend to retire in the Philippines. Can that money be transferred to a bank over there?
Your monthly payments will be made to you. We don't actually send them even to a bank directly when they're outside the country. So you would receive it by check. Or are you asking whether you can cash it out because you'd be a non-resident and get a lump sum instead?
That's right. That's part of the question.
That is possible, but on a case-by-case basis, we'd want to take that offline and discuss that. But there are situations where someone who lives outside the country can apply to receive a lump sum, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I guess we can resume. So leaving the employment with the United Church. So this is kind of what I just touched on. So if you're over age 55, you cannot transfer the value of your promised pension to a locked-in retirement savings plan elsewhere. You must leave the money in the pension plan and you become a deferred member. If you're under age 55 when you terminate service, you can leave your money in the pension plan or you can transfer it to a locked-in retirement savings plan. You may elect to retire early before age 65. Your benefit would be lower than the estimate shown on your annual pension statement to account for the extra payments before age 65, a longer period of retirement. It would be reduced by 0.33% per month for every month between the date payments begin and age 65, which is a 4% annual reduction. For example, if you earned pension at your earned pension at age 65 is $1,000 per month, but you retire at age 64, you will receive $960 per month, which is a 4% reduction. Your normal retirement at age 65 benefit amount will be the same as on your annual statement. Note, unreduced early retirement is available at age 65 with 35 years of service with the plan. You also might postpone retirement and stay after age 65. The benefit would be higher than on the statement because of the shorter retirement period. And you must convert to income by age 71, which is a Canada Revenue Agency rule. So even if you continue to work and don't retire, you must begin receiving payments by December of the year in which you turn age 71. And that goes also for any registered savings plans that you have, RRSPs, outside of the plan. And that's a Canada Revenue Agency rule. Retirement before age 71 is optional. If you elect or choose to take pension before age 71, you must have a break in employment and end your call or appointment to meet CRA requirements. You can only accept an appointment going forward. So in the event that you wanted to start taking your payments, but you want to come back and work in some capacity, you have to have that break in service, and you can only accept an appointment going forward. At age 71, you must take your pension. There's no need to stop working or cease employment. You can stay in the call or appointment. Your pension is part of the three-legged stool. So your personal savings, your retirement income, and government plans all combine to provide you with your income in retirement. So retirement income is the plan, and any group RRSPs that you may have, or individual RRSPs that you may have. All of that adds together to provide you with an income in retirement. There are other considerations as you approach retirement. How will you live into retirement? How can you stay involved in your community? What new activities will you try? The Office of Vocation offers a course for ministry personnel who are approaching or living into retirement entitled Boundaries Refresher, Retiring with Grace. You register through ChurchX, and courses are offered on, as it says here, March 21st, May 9th, June 18th, from noon to 2:30. For lay employees, there are no courses offered currently. Someone, I think, made a comment and said that they wanted to ask a question. We're going to have another slide that says, let's ask questions at that time. We'll do that, and then we'll talk it over. So our next slide. Your pension statement is the most detailed pension information specific to you. To make changes to your personal information or ask questions about your specific pension and benefits, contact the Benefits Center at that number, 1-855-647-8222, or email pension@united-church.ca, disability@united-church.ca, or benefits@united-church.ca. Here's the statement. You might laugh, but I have to take my glasses. Well, I don't know if that's even going to help me. This is very small writing. So on your statement, there's a column there that says your pension, and that's what you've already earned, and what you've earned in this particular year. Then there's your future. So the amount that you've earned, I wish the writing were larger. The amount that you've earned already. So this person has already earned $14,097 of annual pension. That's including what they earned in this year and what they earned prior to that. And then under that, we show the maximum Canada pension and the maximum old age security that you might receive, and then add it all up to give you a figure as to what you might expect in retirement income. Something we like to caution people about is that not everyone receives the maximum Canada Pension Plan amount. So it's good for you to check your own situation by going on the government website. Next slide. Canada Pension Plan. In October 2024, the average monthly amount received by new recipients starting their pension at age 65 was approximately $808.14. In January 2025, the maximum monthly amount you could receive if you start your pension at age 65 is $1,433. This assumes that you have contributed for at least 39 years, and not everyone contributes for the full period of time either. So you would have had to earn well, we're going to get into that next anyway, the year's maximum pensionable earnings in each of those 39 years. So contributions are based on employment income, subject to minimum and maximum amounts, and are shared equally between the employer and the employee. The year's maximum pensionable earnings, the first CPP earnings ceiling, is $71,300 for 2025. The year's additional maximum pensionable earnings, YAMPE, the second earnings ceiling, will be $81,200 for 2025. That's to make the Canada Pension Plan benefit more meaningful for middle income earners. The CPP enhancement is intended to make the CPP benefit more meaningful for the middle income earners. That second ceiling is for that purpose. In order to, I won't spend too much time on this because I think that most of us on this call are more mature members, shall I say? And to get the maximum benefit from this enhancement, Canadians would be those who are near the beginning of their career and have their full career to benefit from it. But it will increase things for us a little bit. Next slide. There is a helpful video on the Government of Canada website which discusses when to begin receiving your Canada pension and how this affects the amount you can receive. So I did put a link to it there. If you go to the Canada Pension Plan website, you'll find that there are some useful tools basically, and you should have a look and check out what your own situation is likely to bring you when it is time to retire. Now, normal forms of pension. If you have a spouse at retirement, the normal form of pension is a joint and 2/3 survivor with a 5-year guarantee. The benefit amount is 100% of your total pension credits at 65. So it's the amount shown on your annual statement. The spousal benefit, meaning that if you were to die after the 5-year guarantee period, your spouse gets 2/3 of the amount that you were getting prior to your death. I say after the 5-year guarantee period because the payments will not reduce until 60 monthly payments have been made to both you and your spouse. If you die before that, 60 payments have been made. If you do not have a spouse, the only form available to you is a single life annuity guaranteed 15 years because there's no second person to base that joint life annuity on. So here are some optional forms for a member with a spouse to provide more protection for your family. A joint and level survivor, that means joint and survivor 100% that doesn't reduce after your death as long as your spouse is alive. And it still has a 5-year guarantee period. Now, although it never reduces as long as your spouse is alive, the 5-year guarantee period is added for an extra measure of protection in case, tragically, both you and your spouse were to die before the end of the 5-year guarantee period. It's equal benefits for both of you and your spouse after death. You would get a little bit less than what is shown on your annual statement as your monthly pension because you're basically purchasing extra protection for your spouse. The other form which provides extra protection is leaving the joint and survivor at 2/3, but putting a 10-year guarantee on it. So that is in case both you and your spouse were to die before the end of the 10-year period, the value of the remaining payments would go to your beneficiary or estate. So again, it's another added safety net for your family. The other form that you could, if your spouse signs a waiver and allows this, you could opt for a single life annuity with a 15-year guarantee. The only reason why that would ever make sense would be if your spouse is maybe in very poor health and has a lower life expectancy than you would have. Then there are no guarantees in life, but chances would be higher that they might predecease you, so you might want to have the 15-year guarantee instead. But your spouse would have to sign that spousal waiver. The guarantee period is a measure of protection for you and your beneficiaries. It is a minimum number of payments that must be made to you and your beneficiaries, even if you die soon after starting your pension. If you're still living when the guarantee expires, nothing happens. Your pension continues for as long as you live. That's why it's called a life annuity. And also for as long as your spouse at retirement lives. That is called a joint life annuity. As long as one of you is alive, the pension continues. Now, do we have questions?
Hi, it's not a question so much as just a thought. Back to the when to retire slide. So if you have 35 years of experience with the United Church of Canada, you can get an unreduced pension at 60, which is wonderful. I'm wondering if and I don't expect an answer to this, but if the United Church might consider at some point that for most of us, ministry is a second profession, a second calling, and to get 35 years experience is pretty challenging. But I hope to retire at 60 and I'll have 28 years experience. 35 seems pretty unattainable for most of us.
Right.
Just a food for thought. I don't know if it's ever been considered or talked about.
It could be considered. The thing is that would increase the costs to the plan substantially. So it would disadvantage all members of the plan in order to offer that. It could also adversely affect the funded position of the plan. Okay. So it would, preclude ad hoc increases. It would maybe put the plan in jeopardy. So I myself don't have long service, so I know that I will not get a full pension. But if I work for the church for 15 years and I get a fairly decent income, it's not enough to live on, but added to my other savings, I still appreciate it. That's all I can expect, really.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I wasn't expecting a change or an answer, but yeah, I do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I wish we could.
Yeah.
May I ask a question that I think is pretty quick?
Okay.
I was thinking that we stop accruing pension at the age of 70. So I've planned all along for that, and I do not have 35 years in the United Church of Canada. So it sounds to me like you're saying you can continue to accrue up to the age of 71. So I'm wondering, what would that 1 year difference make, roughly?
Well, the rule is that you have to change any registered plan into an income stream by the end of the year in which you turn 71.
Okay.
So yes, you continue to accrue until that time. It's not when you turn 70, it's December of the year in which you turn 71.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I had the misfortune of uh, becoming disabled in the year 2000, I was placed on a disability pension. I managed to get well again, thank God, and started occasional ministry right up until I was 71 and beyond. And I'm still doing occasional ministry, but I wasn't allowed to rejoin the United Church Pension Plan. Can you explain this to me?
I think the best way to do this would be to take this offline because it's a specific question. But what I can say is that when you are on disability, if you qualify under the church's long-term disability plan, for example, you earn pension disability credits. And when you're 65, that ends. So then you are deemed to have retired. And then your retirement pension from that period up to 65 would begin. So once you're retired, that has ended. Then you're a re-engaged pensioner, usually if you want to come back while already receiving a pension. And that is a different situation. But I can't really comment on your specific situation without having your own information in front of me.
Well, maybe the answer then is to email you and give you the information and ask you to go over it, because I get by nowadays by having different pensions. The United Church pension, unfortunately, wouldn't keep myself, my wife, for more than a couple or 3 months. So I'll email you the information.
Well, email the pension at unitedchurch.ca,
right.
united-church.ca, because that's the admin team and they will have access to your records.
Great.
And they'll be able to look at that. The other thing is that often when I do this session, I invite people to send me an email as well to my own personal email inbox. But tomorrow I'm going on vacation for a little over a week. So it would be best to just go to the pension team.
Okay, thanks.
There's also a question in the chat from Mark.
And what was that question?
If I were to retire, leave the employ of the UCC, can I elect to defer starting the pension? And does that change the benefit?
You can elect to defer beginning your pension. Does it change the benefit? Well, if you were to start it early, it's reduced that 0.33% per month that you start before age 65. If you wait until age 65, then you receive the amount that is shown on your pension statement as having been already earned. So it doesn't get reduced for early commencement. Does that answer the question? Or if you have more to ask, we don't have a lot of participants, so that's why you can just verbally ask if you'd like. Or maybe that's sufficient.
So if I were to retire at 65, but wanted to defer my pension to age 70, would the pension amount at 70 be the same as the pension amount at 65?
No, then it would actually be increased for the shorter period of retirement.
Okay, so there would be an increase then in the monthly.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Another question would be, if I did not make it on the 10-year mark and retire at on my 9th year, would that affect my pension?
I'm not sure what the significance of 10 years is. That illustration I gave you was just arbitrarily, I decided that Reverend J worked for 10 years, but I could have done an illustration where they worked for 15, or is
I
that what
see.
you were referring to, or?
Yeah, I was just thinking of that kind of, mark, the 10
Yeah,
years.
there's no special meaning
Okay.
to 10
okay.
years. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just that I thought, we'll say that they worked for 10 years, so then we have 10
Mhm.
pension credits to add together to get our annual pension. That's all.
Okay, thank you for
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
I think someone said in the chat, if I were to, if I'm on LTD, does the pension automatically start at age 65? It doesn't hurt to get in touch with us to make sure that things are in place in time when you're 65. But yes, LTD, the pension disability credits end at age 65. So you could leave the money in the plan, but you're deemed to have retired. You don't accrue new pension after 65 if you're on LTD. Anything else? I think maybe we can proceed. Okay, so post-retirement benefits. Members of the United Church Pension Plan have life insurance, a $3,000 flat life benefit. They also have access to the Pensioner Health and Dental Plan with premiums deducted from their monthly pension benefit. The 2025 premiums are for a single person, $114.78 per month. And for family coverage, usually that's a couple, it's $231.51 per month, plus taxes where applicable. Some provinces apply taxes. You may participate in the group benefits for pensioners plan once your pension payments commence if you terminate service with the United Church at or after age 55, and you receive an immediate or deferred annual pension from the church that is greater than 5% of the government's year's maximum pensionable earnings, and you had group insurance coverage at termination. Participation is optional. Now, at retirement, you have three choices. You may participate, which is an irrevocable decision. If you decide to participate, you can't later decide that you want to opt out. You can decline, which again is an irrevocable decision. You can't then decide you want to opt in. Or you can waive if you have coverage under another employer's plan, usually via your spouse. You can participate in the United Church's plan in the future if you lose that other coverage. So for example, if your spouse is still working and they have coverage and you're covered under that plan, and then when they retire, they no longer have coverage, you can then begin coverage under the Pensioner Health and Dental Plan. To make affordable health and dental coverage available to pensioners, vision care is not covered. There's no semi-private hospital coverage. Only travel in Canada is covered. Out-of-province fees are often not covered by provincial plans. And reimbursement levels, maximums and annual or lifetime maximums change. So contact Green Shield for more information for specific questions. Or look at the benefits for pensioners booklet, which is on the website. Now, if you die before retirement, your eligible spouse may get a monthly pension or may transfer the lump sum value to a registered retirement vehicle. If they transfer the lump sum, that is end of membership in the plan with no access to pensioner health and dental coverage. If you die after retirement, spousal benefits are based on the pension options you chose at retirement. Your spouse may continue with health and dental coverage if they choose to. A new change in pastoral relations form is available on Church Hub. It can be used to advise the Office of Vocation and Benefits Center that you wish to retire. This new process replaces Form PR 443. This is what you'll see on the screen when you indicate that change in pastoral relations via Church Hub. I'm not going to read all of it because it's very small print. Then you will be asked to confirm the following: the reason for change in pastoral relations, other, accepted new caller appointment, or retirement. So if you're retiring, that's what you would indicate. And in providing notice of my intent to retire, I confirm that I am aware that I am planning to be a re-engaged pensioner who is drawing my pension and serving in an appointment. And then if that's the case, and you check the one that applies. This is for the Office of Vocation. TELUS Health Employee and Family Assistance Program. TELUS Health has an online EFAP website, workhealthlife.com. Visit this site to access support for your work, health, and life. Link to resources and interactive tools that help you manage your health and well-being. Find information about how the EFAP has helped others and ways it can support you too. It's available for active employees, so do that before you retire. The Benefits Center site. We continuously add valuable content, so make sure you're checking back regularly. In particular, the frequently asked questions and newsroom pages can be helpful. You should consult a financial planner, the sooner the better, so you can get a picture of what you should be looking forward to in retirement. 6 months before the retirement date, contact Service Canada to make sure that you are your CPP and old age security will be in place. And 4 months before your retirement date, contact the United Church Benefits Center. And those are all of the contact details: pension, disability, benefits. They go to the administration team, and people will be able to access your specific details. My email is there, and in future, I'm happy to answer emails. But as I said, I will be away for a week. Any questions? Mark?
Yeah. So I'm assuming somewhere there is a form that would allow me to make sure that income tax is being deducted from the pension before the payment is made.
When you advise the benefit center that you want to start your pension, they'll send you all of the forms, and the tax deduction form would be one of those things, I believe.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Anything else? Well, I guess that's it. We had a smaller group today, so I guess we got through the material more quickly. I hope you found this helpful.
Thank you, Sheena.
You're very welcome. I enjoy doing this.
Thank you for your time.
And as I
Thank
said,
you.
I'm happy to answer questions when I do get back. Are there any more questions in the chat that we haven't answered?
No, there's nothing. There are no questions in the chat right now.
Okay, great.
Thanks,
Well,
Sheena.
have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Have a
Thanks,
great
Travels.
vacation.
Thank
Thank-
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Sheena.
you.
Have a good vacation.
Safe
Thank you.
I
travels.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.